Hi guys, welcome to this more or less good idea. I don't know if this will work at the point of filming. I just have a vague plan and some free time. And I've wanted to do this for a long time, so I figured out now or never. So as you can see, I'm not in the crafting dungeon because this project is gonna take some real time. So you cannot leave it lying around somewhere because it is attached to your hand. And I think the first step is gonna take maybe 2 hours, maybe 3. I don't know. So I've moved upstairs so that it's more comfortable. I've brought some of the tools with me I need for the first step. So I'm gonna show you. You will of course need everything to work with the clay. So your plastic tools, the foil, your glove. I will prepare a lot of strips of masking tape before I start. There is a table here and I will just hang the strips of masking tape from the table so I can grab them easily. If you are a more social person, you can get help for this step. It would be a lot better to do it with a person that can glue the stuff to your hand. But as you can see, I'm doing this on my own and I think it's possible to do it like this. And it involves a lot less judgment. So let's just go ahead. I have a picture of the hand on my computer screen that's right next to you guys. And I hope that's all that we need. So first off, don't put the glove on right away because we need to cut the fingertips off. This is so that when you take the half-finished hand off of your actual own hand, the fingertips in the glove will not cause a suction, so it's easier to take off. And yes, I've learned this the hard way. I have done a trial before filming this, and I couldn't get the hand off of my hand, and I ended up destroying the whole thing. Alright, so the table is filled with masking tape strips. The next step is going to be the foil.
So here was nothing, I guess. We're putting on the glove without the fingers.
And the plan is that I will start on the top of my hand all the way down the arm. I think by then it will be somewhat dry so that I can flip my hand around and work on the front. But I will try to leave one strip without any material. So one strip that goes along this side and around the thumb. And it will help me remove my hand and also put it back on. Because the part around the wrist is of course the slimmest part and your entire hand has to go through. Again, the masking tape is only on the foil, not on my skin. Even if you're not filming, I think a mirror across from you would help you when you're alone. Because I'm looking into the camera screen to figure out where there's tape missing. Also, if you're thinking about just taking the roll of masking tape and wrapping it around your hand back and forth, yes, it's faster, but you're also running the risk of pulling the tape too tight around your arm. And please remember, this is a body part, so we do not want to cut off circulation. That's why I'm taking small pieces to put them on. This will prevent pulling anything too tight and cutting off blood flow. Alright, so this is where we are right now. The hand is covered, the fingers are still free. Now to the first layer. You need your plastic surface, so either a piece of cardboard wrapped in foil, or as I'm using here, some old plastic thing. This is like a bucket lid. And the first layer is just gonna be a lot of PVA glue. So from now on, you will have to try and keep your hand and your fingers in the position that you want the final product to be. So judging from the photo that I have here, she has like this kind of handhold with the index finger stretched out. I'm trying to keep it like this. I'm not working on the fingers just yet, and you might think this is it's not necessary to keep the fingers like this, but remember, it's a body part. So when you move your fingers, the back of your hand moves as well. And if you have the right hand hold for your fingers right away, it will keep this part in the right position. Check-in, so I have added some tape on my index finger just to help keep it in this stretched position. I have added one thin layer of cardboard clay, and as you can see, it's already drying up around here. So the first layer of just glue took like half an hour to dry. I think this will be similar in time, and I'll just wait it out and watch some YouTube and then check back in with you when I can work on it again. So this is where we are now. It's been like 40 minutes and I have put more tape on my thumb and also brushed it with glue already. Also the index finger is brushed with glue, and you can see it's going pretty well. Of course, these inside patches here aren't quite dry, but you can hear the difference. The parts on the edges are getting dry really quickly. So I think I will continue around the thumb, mindful to keep this going all the way up here. And also around here, probably closing off the hand up here and trying to make my way around the base of the index finger. So we're back. This is what I got. So I've left one finger out because I couldn't be bothered to do any more. I really want to get out of this, but I think it's stable enough. So there are some wet patches every now and then, but I think it can dry without me actually having my hand in it. What you should be on the lookout for is this sound. So most of it should sound dry. These patches here, they're just because I've poured a lot of glue into these ridges here in an attempt to close them, but as long as I will have my hand in here, it's prone to move. So I plan on just taking my hand out, stuffing the template that I got with newspaper, and then work on it separately. Now there's the question of how do I get my hand out of this, because the index finger is quite well bonded, but I can wiggle my finger inside of it a little bit. For the others, they're not bonded to this part, but I cannot move my finger inside it. So I have no idea what we're gonna do. So yeah, as you can see, this didn't go at all as planned. I'm still trying to save it. The main problem is that I really still got stuck inside the glove. There was nothing I could do to get out of this glove at all. And I don't quite know what to do now. Like, everything is super soft. I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe redoing it without a glove because it worked well with just this. The glove is really a problem. But I don't really want to redo it. That was a lot of work. You know what? Let's just take out the part that was not successful. So the fingers are a total bust except the index finger. So let's just pull everything out here. There you go. I mean, that's a bit further than the last try, which didn't last past the glove at all. So past the initial glue layer. I mean, that looks very wrong, but that's how it's gonna be sometimes. Of course, I'm a bit grumpy now, because there was like hours of work that just disintegrated. But that's why I do it, so you don't have to be grumpy. Okay, so that's more or less kinda sorta okay. So this is the shape that it should be, that it isn't. Let's just continue on with this. We can still save it. I'm not giving up on all this work. So learn from my mistake, please. Do not wear a glove, because I think that's the main reason why stuff didn't work out. What I'm doing now is make long strips of foil, because the foil is the only stuff that will not stick to this clay. And I have prepared some newspaper, and I'll carefully begin to stuff the hand with the newspaper. Not super tight, but just enough to hold the shape. I'm probably gonna have it dry standing up. So I think when I dry it standing up, it will automatically pull these ridges into the shape that it's supposed to be. And then we'll figure out what to do from there. I finally made it downstairs. I have put all the pieces on, which looks like this. Of course, the seam is open so that I can get in and out. So as you can see, I have decided to make pieces instead of the whole hand. So we have these 3 fingers here, and then the thumb, and then the rest of the glove. Technically, you could also take off the index finger. I didn't because it was the only one still left on the glove. As you can see, I cut a little bit out of here just because this thumb piece will cover it anyway. And of course I didn't use the glove this time. I just wrapped my fingers in cellophane, as you can see here, put some tape on it, put the mixture on it, carefully pulled it off, which is very easy with the cellophane, even if it's still wet. So my version was still wet. I pulled it off carefully and set it like this to dry, and that's just how it came out. So what I'm gonna do now is put on the hot glue gun and just attach the thumb piece, because I want it to be in here permanently, at least around this. So I will leave this seam open just so that I can, stretch it this way and that way and get in. This will not be attached to the rest of the glove just now. We will put it on later with something temporary that I will show you. And then I will attach a plate to these fingers, a plate that runs along the arm, and that will hold all the decorative pieces, so the kind of sticks or branches that are coming out. This is after overnight drying, so as you can see I just put down a very thin layer of the clay here. It's still completely mobile, which we will need because it is going to wrap around the wrist from here. So we go around here now, and yeah, you can see this dip here where there's a little bit of open space. This is where we will hide a closure so that we can wrap around the wrist and close it here. And then you see another dip here. That's not intentional, this is just how it came out and I will use it. I will hide another closure here and probably wrap around the entire arm just to close off here. So obviously we are still missing fingertips, which is what we will be working on now. So the plan is to make detachable fingertips, because if you close it up right now, you will have this Chinese finger trap moment and never get out of this hand, which will be hard to explain for any further job interviews. So I think I'll start with the thumb because that's the easiest, in my mind at least. So I'll make another kind of imprint of my finger, but I will put it up higher because the fingers on the picture are longer than my little sausage hands here. And it will also feature a lot of overhang here, which is what I can see in the image. Let's see here, this beautiful printout that I have. There's a lot of overhang right here, which I will attach to the fingertip, slot over, and then use the closure between these two to create the gap. So now that we're done with most of the color, it's time to add the closures. So for that I thought about using Velcro. I bought these dots here that you can put anywhere you want. I will probably cut them a bit smaller or maybe cut out a tiny strip from each. You can of course also buy it as a roll like this. This was just what was available and delivered quickly. I will add the tough side to the glove and the felted side to the plate on top. So this, by the way, is 3/4 of the way done with paint. These are self-adhesive, but I don't trust that. I will glue them on with some more hot glue.